Okay, I can't even imagine putting this thing up to my ear. Are people really going to want to use this as a phone?
I actually don't think this is going to be a phone. I think this is going to be a companion to your smartphone. I don't think you're going to be making calls through it. I think it's going to be used much like the Pebble that we've seen, the Pebble Watch, where you can check your email on it, you can get text messages, other types of simple messaging, perhaps use it for a camera. But I don't think this is the Dick Tracy phone that people have waited, decades for. I think this is more of a companion to the smartphone.
So does that mean you don't think there's really a market for a phablet? Or
well,
is this really something that people are going to want? I mean, at what point do you not just buy a tablet?
Well, my comment was about the Galaxy Gear Watch. Regarding the phablet, I do think there's a market for it. What Samsung has been very successful in doing is in trying to find new product sizes between the traditional 4-inch smartphone and the 7-inch tablet. And, they actually have 26 different screen sizes, Emily, across their smartphone and tablets, which is interesting. But I do think there's a market for the 6.3-inch because they know there's a lot of demand for a 7-inch. They know there's a lot of demand for 5-inch tablets and 5.5-inch tablets. So I think that they're smart by trying the 6.3-inch out, throwing it at the wall, seeing if it sticks. But I think there will be a market for it. The volume is more of the question mark, but there will be a lot of demand for it because there's so much demand on either side of the screen size of this product.
We've seen Samsung before just sort of throw products on the market to see how they do, to experiment, which is obviously the opposite of Apple's strategy. Does Apple have something to learn from this?
Absolutely. They've increased their screen size last year with the iPhone 5. They brought it up to 4.3 inches. And I think it was directly because of all of the strong consumer demand at the 5-inch level. So I think that even though we're not going to see a new screen size from Apple next month, I do think that with the iPhone 6 in 2014, we almost have to see a bigger 5-inch screen just because there's so much global interest, consumer interest in that 5-inch level. The 6 inches kind of is a little bit different. As you point out, it's kind of strange to hold these up to your ear. Even the Galaxy Note looks kind of silly when you hold it up to your ear. Even though you can use it as a phone, it still looks a little strange. But I do think that Apple needs to move to a larger screen next year, and I think that they will.
Okay, so back to the Galaxy Gear. We're expecting potentially for this to be unveiled on September 4th, ahead of Apple's iPhone event, which is coming up in early September as well. What do you make of the timing here? How much does it matter if Samsung reveals this before Apple, reveals anything of its own?
Look, it matters. First to market is always critical. If they can get it out to the global consumers that they are the big smartwatch player, then that's going to give them a lot of momentum. It's not clear whether Apple's actually going to do this. You mentioned earlier in the segment, the hiring of this key Nike personnel coming over and likely working on the smartwatch. I don't think it's anything we're going to see from Apple anytime soon. There's no evidence of it in the supply chain, but they're most certainly working on wearable computing. Tim Cook has at least alluded to the area being interesting to Apple. But I think what's happening is we are at the forefront of wearable computing. Between Google Glass, the Pebble smartwatch, which was just a Kickstarter project, to now we're going to see product from Samsung. We're going to see a number of smartwatches hitting the market. I think it's going to be a big story in CES in January of 2014. But this is going to be a new category that we're going to see a lot of in the next few years. Not everyone's going to wear it, but we are going to see a lot more wearable computing products coming to market, and there will be demand for them as they evolve and change.